Good morning, children. Hearty welcome to all of you for today's session. Hope all are doing good and started your study seriously. Okay, as you know, we have already completed the halfmost portion of the lesson. A house is not a home, the eighth lesson from our supplementary reader. So, today I will be discussing the second half, the concluding portion of the lesson. Okay, so if you are ready, let's get started. A house is not a home. It has been penned by Zan Gaudiso. Z-A-N G-A-U-D-I-O is Zan Gaudiso. Okay, so before moving ahead with the new portion, I would like to give you a summary of the topic that I taught you in the last class. Listen, children. The narrator in the story was a teenager. The story revolves around a teenager, a boy. He lived with his mother and a pet cat. After junior high school, he shifted to a high school, twice as big as his old school. He felt at a loss and lonely among new teachers and students. That means he felt lonely among his new teachers, new students, and new school. He missed his old school and friends and old teachers who encouraged him to take part in the new school activities and make new friends. One Sunday evening, the narrator was doing his homework. His pet cat, whom he loved much, sat on his papers. It was a cold, windy day of fall. As I told you, fall means it's an autumn season. The mother was stoking fire in the fireplace to keep the house warm. Suddenly, he smelled something strange. Soon the whole house was filled with smoke. He ran out of the house. His mother also ran out, but then ran back home and brought a box of important papers. The house was on fire. The narrator suddenly rang up the fire department from the neighbors. They arrived soon. His mother ran again into the burning house, perhaps to bring the letters and photo of his father, who was no more. The narrator tried to run after her, but a fireman stopped him. They also brought the fainted mother and gave her oxygen. The narrator hugged his mother lovingly. The whole house got burnt. Nothing was left. The narrator also lost his cat. Mother and son spent some time in their car with firemen's blankets on them. Then they went to their grandparents' house. The next day, that was Monday, he was forced by his mother, the teenager was forced by his mother to go to school. The narrator went to school wearing the previous day's dress and borrowed shoes from his aunt. It was weird, shabby, and he felt embarrassed. What do you mean by children embarrassed? Embarrassed means he felt shy about his appearance. Okay, so that much portion we have completed in our last class. So let's move on to a new portion. Let me read the first one. When I walked through what used to be my house after school that day, I was shocked to see how much damage there was, whatever had burned. It was destroyed by the water and chemicals they had used to put out the fire. The only material things not destroyed were the photo albums, the documents, and some other personal items that my mother had managed to heroically rescue. But my cat was gone. My heart ached for her. So, what's going on there, children? Yes, on his way back, he walked through his burned house. He was shocked to see the extent of damage that had been caused by the fire and water that had extinguished it. The only things that were safe were the ones that his mother had rescued. What were the children? Yes, the papers, the important documents, photos, and some personal items. The narrator had lost his cat too, his pet cat too. His heart ached for her. He lost his pet cat, so he was so sad. There was no time to grieve. My mother rushed me out of the house. We would have to find a place to live, and I would have to buy some clothes for school. So there was no time to grieve. The narrator could not grieve over the loss of his cat. What's the reason, children? Because they had to rebuild their life, they had to arrange a place to live in, they had to buy some clothes for school too. Okay. We had to borrow money from my grandparents because there were no credit cards, cash, or even any identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. Everything had gone up in smoke. So, what's going on there, children? Did you get the air condition? Yes, they had to borrow money from his grandparents as they did not have their credit cards, cash, or any identity proof to withdraw money from the bank. What happened? Yes, everything had gone up in that fire. That week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, I would go over to watch them clear away debris, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. She was gone. I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. In the early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along after me, climb up my robe, and crawl into my pocket to fall asleep. I was missing her terribly. Children, I would like to give you some new words for you, new words meanings. Rubble, have you seen that? See the first one, that week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off. What do you mean by rubble? Rubble means fragments of bricks and stones. Fragments of bricks and stones, or we can say the remains of the burned house. Then debris, refuse. Debris, refuse, or wreckage. Wreckage means WRECKAGE, wreckage or refuse. Two words are there, debris, refuse or wreckage. Then the next word is vulnerable. Have you seen that? Vulnerable little kitten. Vulnerable here. What's the meaning of vulnerable? Weak. Vulnerable, weak. Or we can say one more meaning, liable to injury. So now let's see the explanation. After some days, the workers were removing the remains of the burned house. Did you understand? See, that week. The rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. That means after some days, the workers were removing the remains of the burned house. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, I would go over to watch them clear away debris, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. So what he was doing there, children? Yes, they were living in a rented apartment nearby. But the narrator would visit his old house and see the workers. Do you know what was his intention, children? Yes. He wished to find his cat there. He wanted to find his cat. He had lost her, but kept thinking of the poor soul. See, here is the sentence, children. Yes, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. So, every day he would visit his old house and see the workers because he wished to find his cat there. He had lost her, but kept thinking of the poor soul. How it would wake up when the narrator disturbed it and then followed him, climbed up to his gown and would fall asleep while sitting in his pocket. So he missed her a lot. Understood? Did you get that, children? So the narrator, he was so fond of his lovely pet dog, not dog, children, lovely pet cat. See, I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. In the near early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along after me, climb up my robe, and crawl into my pocket to fall asleep. I was missing her terribly. So, see, in the morning, they usually, what he would do, children, in the morning, in the early morning, the narrator would disturb her and make her out of his bed. But what she would do, yes, she would cling to him. What do you mean by cling? Yes, she would lie very close to him, sometimes climb up to his robe. What do you mean by robe? To his clothes, especially to his pocket. She would crawl into his pocket to sleep. So I was missing her terribly, so he missed her a lot. So from these sentences, we realized or we understand that the cat was very close to him. The cat was very close to the narrator. He missed her a lot. Okay. It always seems that bad news spread quickly, and in my case, it was no different. Everyone in high school, including the teachers, was aware of my plight. I was embarrassed, as if somehow I were responsible. What a way to start off at a new school. This was not the kind of attention I was looking for. So, plight. What do you mean by children? Plight. See, was aware of my plight. Plight means sad story. Aware of my plight, my sad condition. Okay, sad story or sad condition. Then, embarrassed. What do you mean by embarrassed? Felt shy. Embarrassed means felt shy. Okay, so let's see the explanation. So the narrator thought that bad news spread faster. You know that, isn't it? So bad news spread quickly, and in his case too, it's not a different one. So what's the reason, children? Yes, the narrator thought that bad news spread faster because everyone, including his teachers, knew about his sad condition or knew about his sad story. I was embarrassed as if somehow I were responsible. What a way to start off at a new school. So he felt embarrassed. What do you mean by embarrassed, children? He felt shy, as if he was guilty for all that happened. He was getting attention for all the wrong reasons. Did you understand, children? Yes, he was embarrassed. That means he felt shy, as if somehow he was the responsible person for the burning of his house. So he felt embarrassed as if he was guilty for all that had happened to his house. So he was getting attention for all the wrong reasons. Children, what do you mean by these sentences, children? It's only the misunderstanding of a teenager. He felt that everyone thought that he was the responsible person for the burning of his house. Actually, it's not that. So it's an accident. So what happened to it, children? Yes, we know the story. It happened unexpectedly. It was just an accident. But the boy felt that he was responsible for that. He was irresponsible. That's why he didn't notice the fire that spread to his house. Okay, so this was not the kind of attention he was looking for. So he felt embarrassed. He felt shy. Clear? The next day at school, people were acting even more strange than usual. I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were milling around me, asking me to hurry up. I thought it strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. It almost seemed that they were trying to show me into the gym. Then I saw why. There was a big table set up with all kinds of stuff on it just for me. They had taken up a collection and bought me school supplies, notebooks, all kinds of different clothes. Jeans, tops, sweatsuits. It was like a Christmas. I was overcome by emotion. People who had never spoken to me before were coming up to me to introduce themselves. I got all kinds of invitations to their houses. Their genuine outpouring of concern really touched me. In that instant, I finally breathed a sigh of relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay. I made friends that day. So, okay, children, let's see the explanation. The first word that I'm going to give you the meaning is milling around. MILLING. Milling around means moving around aimlessly. Moving around aimlessly without any purpose. His classmates, they were moving around him without any purpose. Then show, SHOVE, show means push forcibly. Show means push forcibly. What do you mean by that? Push forcibly means push hard, HARD. Push forcibly, FORCIBLY. Okay, so let's see the explanation. The next day at school, it was unusual. So, what's the reason, children? The next day at school, people means his classmates. They were acting even more strange than usual. That means the next day at school, it was unusual. The narrator was changing for the gym class when students gathered around him and asked him to hurry. Have you seen that? Yes, I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were milling around me asking me to hurry up. So what he was doing there, children? Yes, he was getting ready for the gym class. As you know, there were lockers for each and every child. So everyone should keep their dress for gym and all other things where it should be locked in a locker. So he was getting ready for gym class at his locker. Then the children or his classmates, they were milling around him. What they were doing, the children? Yes, the students gathered around him and asked him to hurry. I thought it strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. So, what's the children? Yes, he was accustomed, the narrator was accustomed to strange happenings. So, he did not react too much. Why, children? Because he was not at all mentally happy. So, he was not worried about their strange attitude and behavior. I thought it strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise him. So it almost seemed that they were trying to show me into the gym. So he realized that the students or the classmates or the students pushed him into the gym, pushed him hard into the gym class. And he realized the reason when he reached there. Understood? It almost seemed that they were trying to show me into the gym. So he thought that, or he realized that they were trying to pull him hard into the gym class. Then I saw why. What's the reason, children? So he realized the thing, or he realized the reason when he reached the gym class. There was a table full of articles like notebooks, clothes, stationery items. It felt like a Christmas time. So he got emotional. He made new friends. Okay, so people who had never spoken to him before were coming to him to introduce themselves. So he got all kinds of invitations to their houses. Their genuine outpouring of concern. So he was moved by their concern for him. What do you mean by concern, children? Care. See, in that instant, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Not children, breathed a sigh of relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay. So he felt relieved. He breathed a sigh of relief. He felt happy because it was for the first time that he felt something good that was happening to him. So he made friends at that day itself. Why, children? What's the reason? Because they invited him to their houses. So he was moved, he was touched by their concern for him. So he felt relieved because it was for the first time that he felt something good was happening to him. So he made new friends at that day itself. A month later, I was at my house watching them rebuild it. But this time it was different. I wasn't alone. I was with the two of my new friends from school. It took a fire for me to stop focusing on my feelings of insecurity and open up to all the wonderful people around me. Now I was sitting there watching my house being rebuilt when I realized my life was doing the same thing. Okay, so what's going on there, children? Let's see the explanation. So a month later, after a month, the narrator visited his house as it was being rebuilt. I was at my house watching them rebuild it. Workers were there. So a month later, he was in his house, old house. Then he was watching them rebuild the house. But this time it's quite different. He had two friends with him. I wasn't alone. I was with the two of my friends from school. So he had two friends with him. What's the reason, children? Yes, that incident transformed him. Which incident, children? Yes, he realized or he was really touched by the concern of his classmates. Okay, so he made friends that day. So by that time, he was with the two of his friends from school. Okay, so that incident transformed him. He came out of the negativity and made new friends. He realized that just like his house was being built, his life was also being rebuilt. Did you get the last sentence, children? Yes. Now I was sitting there watching my house being rebuilt when I realized my life was doing the same thing. So he realized, or he felt, that just like his house was being rebuilt, similarly his life was also being rebuilt. That is what is he was trying to become happy, because now he has friends and a lot more to see. That is what is his house. It was being rebuilt. So he became very happy with the progress of the work. So he realized that his life was also being rebuilt. Okay. So while we sat there on the curb planning my new bedroom, I heard someone walk up to me from behind and say, "Does this belong to you?" When I turned around to see who it was, I couldn't believe my eyes. A woman was standing there holding my cat. I leaped up and grabbed her out of the woman's arms. I held her close to me and cried into that beautiful orange fur. She purred happily. My friends were hugging me, hugging the cat and jumping around. Okay, so what's happening there, children? Yes, he realized his life was doing, or his life was going to be in a better condition. So what's happened? What happened there, children? Let's see. So curb. Have you seen that word, children? Yes, C-U-R-B. Curb means edge of the pavement. Curb. C-U-R-B. Curb means edge of the pavement. Okay. So listen. They sat on the curb, or they sat on the pavement, and were planning the narrator's new bedroom. So who sat on the pavement, children? Yes, the narrator and his friends. They sat on the pavement and were planning about his new bedroom. The narrator's new bedroom. They were planning about his new bedroom. So by that time, someone walked up to the narrator from behind and asked if the cat that she was holding belonged to him. Have you seen the sentence? Yes. Does this belong to you? When I turned around to see who it was, I couldn't believe my eyes. So, what did he see, children? Yes, he saw his cat. He saw his pet cat. It was with that woman. So, what did he do, children? Yes, the narrator grabbed his pet cat, held her close, and cried. Have you seen that? Yes. What did he see when he looked behind, children? Yes, a woman was standing there holding his cat. He leaped up and grabbed her out of the woman's arms. So, what did he do? Suddenly, he jumped up to the woman and tried to grab the cat, his pet cat, from that woman's arms. Then he held it close to him and cried. Why, children? Because he became so happy. He was so happy. Then what did the cat do? She too purred happily. You know what's the meaning of purring? The sound made by the cat. So she too felt happy and made some sound. My friends were hugging me, hugging the cat and jumping around. So the narrator's friends, they also shared their happiness by hugging the cat and jumping around them. Okay. So apparently my cat had been so freaked by the fire that she ran over a mile away. Her caller had our phone number on it, but our phones had been destroyed and disconnected. This wonderful woman took her in and worked hard to find out whose cat it was. Somehow she knew this cat was loved and sorely missed. So what's going on there, children? Yes, he became so happy. So freaked, how is in that word, children? Freak, F-R-E-A-K-E-D. Freaked means behaved irrationally. Freaked means behaved irrationally. Okay, that is what is, in a simple way we can say frightened. The dog, not the dog, children. Yes, his pet cat. It had been so freaked. It had been so frightened. Okay, so the next word is sorely. S-O-R-E-L-Y. What do you mean by sorely? Have you seen that word? Sorely missed. Very much missed, very much. Sorely missed means missed very much. Okay, so let's see the explanation. So due to the fire, The narrator's pet cat behaved strangely and ran almost a mile away. What's the reason, children? Because that was all. It became so frightened because of the fire. So what did it do, children? Yes, the pet cat behaved strangely and ran almost a mile away. Her collar had our phone number on it, although their phone number was written on her collar. But what happened to their phones, children? Yes, the phone had been destroyed by the fire. It got disconnected too. Okay, so the lady could not contact them. Did you understand, children? Yes, but our phones had been destroyed and disconnected. This wonderful woman took her in and worked hard to find out whose cat it was. So the lady, what did she do with the cat, children? Yes, she made relentless efforts to trace their address through the number and thus reached them. So she could make out that the cat was being missed by her master because the cat was also sad and missed him. So what did the woman do, children? Yes, she tried her level best to trace their address through the number and thus reached them. So she could make out that the cat was being missed. She realized or she understood that the cat was being missed by her master because the cat was also sad and missed him. She knew that his cat was loved and sorely missed. Sorely missed means missed very much. So she decided to find out the owner of the cat. Okay, so let's move on to our last paragraph. As I sat there with my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, all the overwhelming feelings of loss and tragedy seemed to diminish. I felt a gratitude for my life, my new friends, the kindness of a stranger, and the loud purr of my beloved cat. My cat was back, so was I. So, what do you mean by that, children? Okay, let's see the explanation. Tragedy, What's the meaning of tragedy? Tragedy means mishap. Then diminish. What do you mean by diminish? Diminish means reduced. R-E-D-U-C-E-D, reduced. Then gratitude. You know what it is? Gratitude, thankfulness. Then one more word, overwhelming. See, all the overwhelming feelings of loss. Overwhelming means overpowering. Overwhelming, overpowering. So, as I sat there with my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, all the overwhelming feelings of loss and tragedy seemed to diminish. So, when he sat with his cat and his friends, his sadness disappeared. It became reduced. All the overwhelming feelings. So, what were the feelings, children? Loss and tragedy. He lost his house. So the overwhelming feelings of loss and tragedy seem to diminish, seem to be reduced. So when he sat with his friends and cat, the sadness disappeared. He became happy and thankful for getting a new life, which got him new friends, a kind woman who returned his cat. So he got a new life. Understood? So I felt a gratitude. I felt a thankfulness for my life, for my new friends, for the thankful or for the kindness of that stranger. Stranger means that lady, and the loud purr of his beloved cat. So my cat was back, so was I. So he got a new life. He became happy. He felt that everything is going to be okay. Okay, so he felt a gratitude for his life. So here comes an end of today's session, children. I hope you understood the story. Thank you, children. Have a nice day. Don't forget to write the notes and send it to me in Google Classroom as early as possible. Children, again and again, I'm reminding you, only 1 month is there for your final exam. So try to complete the portion. Start a revision. A lot more lessons are there, children. So you have to read the lessons thoroughly. Whole portion will be there. Okay. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.